How you doing? Chris Bruce here, and I'm the founder of the REI Wealth Profit Academy. All right, and I hope that you've been enjoying this video. By now, you should have went through video 1 and video 2. If you haven't, I want you to go ahead and stop this video right now, because it's imperative that you watch those 2 videos before coming on to this video right now. Okay, so if you haven't, there should be somewhere link above or somewhere on this page for you to go ahead and watch the previous videos. All right, because I discussed some different topics of, maybe why you're not getting the results you need to get in your real estate investing in business, and I also give you the PAS formula, okay, which is the formula that I use in my business to really get sellers to accept my offer and get that deal for the price that I want, so I can make a big profit on these deals. All right, now this video is going to be a little bit different. All right, you're going to actually hear a case study from a former school teacher, all right, that turned to a real estate investor. All right, and in the first 6 months, okay, of using this REI Wealth Academy blueprint, okay, he made $100,000. That's right, guys. He went from 0 to 100 real quick. Yes, in just 6 months, short time. All right, and some of you, maybe you can say, that's, how could someone do that? Maybe it seems a little far-fetched, of making this type of money. All right, of literally going from 0 to $100,000. Okay, but you're gonna hear from him. You're gonna hear from his story, where he started off. You're gonna see that more than likely you probably can relate to him. Okay, he started off just like a lot of people start off. You're just looking just to make an extra $10,000. Okay, and maybe you're looking and you're watching this video and you're just wanting to make extra $10,000. Maybe you're wanting to make just an extra $20,000. Okay, maybe you're just wanting to bring enough income where you can be able to quit your job and start to really enjoy life. Because time, it's our biggest asset, and we can't get that back. Okay, maybe you want to be able to make enough money where you can start saving up for retirement. All right, maybe you have some bills or outlying debt that you want to pay off, and you want to use this real estate vehicle to go ahead and pay that off. Well, I can tell you that using this formula has been able to really do all of those things for me. It's given me more time, freedom, me being able to do whatever I want during the middle of the week while everybody's in the rush hour or the whole grind in the cubicles. It's been able to really give me the opportunity to go and travel the world. And besides making a lot of money, one of the biggest things for me was to really be able to help people. All right, is to really be able to help people see what they could be able to do in themselves. Sometimes a lot of people have limited themselves, and they didn't really see that they could make $100,000. Even Ray, you're going to hear from, he didn't expect to make that. But one of the biggest things that I get after making all this money in real estate, the joys and the passion that I have, is helping people like you realize what you can do. Okay, realize the joy and the greatness that you have in yourself, and how using this formula can really transform your business and your life. You can live an abundant life. It doesn't matter where you come from. All right, it doesn't matter what situation you're in. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and you're going to hear from Ray again, who literally took his business from 0 to 100 in record-breaking times. And I have countless students across the country that have done similar and have had amazing results. But this story here is very, very inspiring, and I really believe that you're gonna really love it. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and get into this interview. All right,
man. It's crazy, Ray. That I'm glad that I got a chance for you to take some time out your day to come on and talk with my subscribers and listeners. And it's phenomenal that over the course of 12 months, you've had extremely success. You've made over $150,000 in the real estate business. And I mean, it's you have a very inspiring story that I want to get out to other people. So for those people that, you know, they don't know you, let me ask you, you know, kind of what your background is. You know, what were you doing, you know, prior to real estate? You know, where are you from?
Mm-hmm. Well, I currently live in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
With my wife, Sonia. And prior to getting into real estate, I was doing life insurance.
Okay.
You know, I was going door to door, you know, just selling some life insurance to the senior market. And I did it about 3 years, and to be honest, man, I hated it. I mean, it was just a thing where I saw the benefit in providing coverage for the older people, but at the same time, it was just a grind, man, a daily grind.
Right.
And, you know, with the insurance industry, what a lot of people may not realize is they do what you call the advance you money. So if you make a sale, you know, they may advance you for like 9 months or 10 months as far as for the payments. But then when people cancel a month or two later, they want their money back. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you may have a good month, but let's say you make 8, 9, 10,000, but you might have 4 or 5,000 in chargebacks. Mm-hmm. So you're always trying to play catch up, and that's not how I wanted to live my life. And prior to that, you know, I've done a lot of things in sales. I've sold cars, I've sold cell phones, I've sold swimming pools. I mean, I've sold it all. And so, you know, I was just frustrated with where I was in life because, like I said, you know, you take 2 or 3 steps forward, but then I found myself taking 4 or 5 steps back.
Wow.
So I was operating in the red a lot of months.
Right.
And, you know, getting discouraged because I knew I had it in me.
Right.
I knew I could do it. I could be successful in sales. It was just the wrong vehicle.
Right, exactly.
And for some reason, man, I don't know what led me to you. I was just kind of doing some research on the internet, like a lot of people probably do. And I kept seeing your videos, you know, and so I was like, who's this Chris Bruce guy? So, you know, I watched some of your videos, and it's very, very motivational, inspirational. You know, you just pretty much, you know, telling people how, you know, you can go out and be a success, and you was kind of giving some foundational things as far as how real estate worked, and it intrigued me. And so I got on your mailing list, and I started getting emails from you, so I would read some of your emails and stuff, and you said something about joining the mastermind group, and I think it was 1995. So I joined and, you know, became part of your Facebook mastermind group and started to see some of the interaction with some other people. And at that point, I wanted to just take it a step further. You know, up until then, I hadn't, you know, did any wholesale deals. And so I remember it was in March, by the middle of March, I sent you a private message on Facebook just asking you about your REI Wealth group, REI Wealth
Academy 2.0. Yeah.
2.0. Yeah. And I was asking you, you know, just kind of get a little more feel for it, and you responded.
Right.
You know, and so from that point, you know, I decided to make the investment and sign up for it. Now, I will say, I didn't have the funds or the resources to actually buy it up front, so I had to tap out a credit card to actually buy it. And man, I just dug in. I did everything you said do in it. In the group, and I just listened.
Right.
And what I did from there though is I'm an action taker.
Yeah.
So I like to get the information, but then I also applied it.
Right.
And so you said, you know, about marketing. You said send out some marketing. So I bought some leads from you.
Yeah.
And from there I sent out the marketing. The calls started coming in, and it started getting overwhelming actually at first because I didn't know what to expect. But from my sales background, I just knew that, you know, the word no didn't really bother me because I was so used to it, and I just dug through it, man. I kept going, and I was able to lock up the deal within about 2 weeks from getting those leads from you and sending them out. And I happened to meet a guy at my local REIA.
Yeah, I remember you put that check up. Well, how much was that check again?
$5,000.
$5,000 check,
yeah,
man.
And the interesting thing about it was I was able to get paid prior to closing because, you know, I initially asked him $10,000 for it, and he was like, well, what would you take for it, you know, if I went in and wrote you a check today? And so I told him $5,000, and, you know, what I let him do was let him sign the contract directly with the seller. Right. And I followed him to his house, and, you know, he and his wife wrote me a check out for $5,000.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then, you know, when my wife got home, you know, I showed it to her, and the first thing she said was, "We rich." Yeah, you know, just a great moment because it was proof. It was proof that it worked. Right. And what I was real grateful for was, you know, because I had never done a wholesale deal prior to.
Well, let me ask you this: where were you even prior? What would even actually led you to even think of real estate investing as a vehicle? You know,
it was just one of those things where like I said, I tried the cars, I tried the real estate, I tried to sell telecommunications and stuff. And I always just heard about real estate, how you can get some financial freedom in real estate.
Right.
And, I know I didn't have the resources to go out and actually resources, no credit to go out and buy a house. But then I heard about wholesaling.
Right.
Just from looking at different videos. And I don't remember this guy's name, but it was a guy out of Charlotte. He's not in the group or anything. He mentioned your name.
Okay.
And he was kind of riding around his car. He was saying, to check Chris Bruce out and a couple other people. And so, I Googled you. And like I said, I started looking at some of your videos. And it just kind of struck, something you were saying would just kind of struck with me. It was just mainly, hey, you could do it.
Right.
If I'm from Detroit. If I can make it out of Detroit, you can be successful too. And that's how, like I said, that's how I reached out to you. And, I got your information and I applied it.
Right. So let me ask you, a lot of people get in this business and, there's people that are successful and there are people who aren't. But obviously for you to acquire and for you to make $150,000 in the course of 12 months in this business, you had to have a strong why. Let's talk about that. Financially, where you were, what was your driving force to make this business work?
Man, to be honest with you, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and as I said before, I've had some success before in the past in sales, but with the insurance, it just wasn't working.
Gotcha.
And I was just so frustrated because, as I said before, the harder I worked, the further I went in the hole. Mm-hmm. And so I knew that I didn't want to live that way the rest of my life.
Right.
And so it was just one of those things where, like I said, when I started seeing your videos and I connected with you, it was just something inside me just had like a confirmation that I knew I could do it.
Gotcha.
And so I took your training, took the course, and I applied it. And like I said, I got past the no's because I was used to the no's. I think that's what stops a lot of people is just that fear of rejection.
Right.
But I've been doing insurance for 3 years prior, so I know the word no.
Right.
But, I just talked to a motivated seller, and this guy, he even told me he was a motivated seller. Mm. So on the phone, he was like, hey, I'm a motivated seller. I want you to come by my house. And I'm looking at the phone like,
what?
Is this a prank call?
Yeah, this stuff that actually he teaches works.
So I met him with the guy, walked through the property, didn't really know what I was doing as far as assessing it, but I just took action. Yeah. And I got it for a low enough price based on what I saw properties that sold for in the area. And like I said, I did some networking at my local RIA, met up with a guy, told him I had it. We met at the property. That's when he made me an offer on the spot. Yeah. And I ended up following home and I got that $5,000 check. I mean, this was like from start to finish. From the time I talked to the seller to actually getting the check was probably about 72 hours. Wow. So it was real quick. Yeah. Now, obviously, when I sent the postcards and stuff out and the calls started coming in, that was probably a couple-week process. But I'm saying from that particular seller to getting connected with that buyer, it's about 72 hours.
Wow. And that's the key thing is that when you invest in any type of education is applying it, and then you start to see results. Now let me ask you this. What success and what other things have you been able to accomplish? What has this done for your family and for your life in general with all the success that you've been able to attain?
Man, the main thing is just that peace of mind. That peace of mind knowing that I'm actually making a difference now. As I said before, in the insurance industry, they kind of sell you the idea that you're helping people and all that, but a lot of times people don't want your help. They don't really see the value of having that coverage, which I still believe everybody should have insurance, but a lot of times the people we were dealing with, they just didn't see the value in it. Whereas with the real estate, you have a person that may have a house that's just sitting vacant, a non-performing asset that's just sitting there. It could be an inheritance. It could be something that, they just out of state and they just don't want the property anymore. And so what I'm doing now, I'm providing a service to where I'm putting cash in their hand for this property that they're not doing anything with it. Right. So they're exchanging equity for that cash, but at the same time, by me being able to connect the seller to the buyer and me getting a fee for that service, that's what wholesaling basically is you assigning the contract to a cash buyer for a fee. That just allowed, my wife and I to be able to enjoy, a lot. We paid off some debts. We're able to travel more now. And, you know, it's just strengthened our relationship more and more because we don't have those pressures like we had before in the past with, you know, being concerned that I make a sale in insurance only to see that I owe that money back at the end of the month or next month. So,
because I know that's you know, huge in any type of marriage when it comes to your finances. You know, that can really put a strain on a relationship.
Yeah, for sure, man. But I will say, man, with my wife, I thank God for her because, I mean, she has really been a great support for me.
That's great.
You know, obviously, we had our conversations, discussions about, you know, what are we going to do sometimes, you know, especially when the money was tight. But at no time did she ever point a finger at me, or did she even ever say, you know, I need to get a job. You know, she's always supported me. And so therefore, where we are now in life, I just count it an honor to be able to just do anything for her. You know, I hardly ever tell her no. And when that does happen, it's the thing where, you know, we both kind of like, you know, yeah, we're going to wait on it. You know, it's nothing pressing.
Exactly.
At the same time, even in saying that, you know, she's an adult. You know, she can make her own decisions and stuff too. But it just strengthened our relationship more to the point where, you know, real estate has just opened up so many doors. It's, like I said, allows us to meet, you know, great people, even like yourself, and network with some other high network people and affluent people that I didn't have this opportunity a year and a half ago, you know, doing insurance. I just didn't.
And that's why I feel like with real estate too, man, it's really changed my life and allowed me the opportunity to be able to, you know, live in an abundant state. You know, there's so much things that are out there that, you know, you can be able to acquire and live and, like, you know, and have that wealth and have that just, I now have to worry about, you know, this bill being paid. All right, Ray, I want to thank you for coming here to sit with me today. You know, Ray, you've had a lot of success as a real estate investor. You've made over $150,000 in the past 12 months. You have a very exponential growth in your business as a new person coming in. I mean, even from, you know, we working together for the past 12 months, I mean, your success that you've had is really, really inspirational to a lot of people, because I can be honest with you, I didn't make that type of money my first year in real estate. You know, so I had to get your time, which I really, really do appreciate, for you to actually come and talk with, you know, some of the subscribers, listeners, because you really have a story that everyone needs to hear. You know, so for those of a lot of people that don't know your story, tell us, you know, some history about yourself. You know, where you're from, where you got started, what were you doing before real estate?
Sure. Well, my name is Ray Mabry. I currently live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm a born and raised North Carolinian. And I just kind of took the same path most people do, went to college. Now, I will say I was able to get a football scholarship. So,
okay.
You know, technically my schooling was free, but it was still, you know, 4 or 5 years.
What position did you play?
Running back.
Running back. Okay, great.
And but you know, I was able to get the degree, got an undergrad and a master's, and from there I ended up going into the school system and taught middle school for a couple of years. Okay. And even though I enjoy working with the kids, I just didn't have that passion.
Gotcha.
You know, and that on top of that, you know, my first year's salary was only like $24,000.
Wow.
And so it was just real tough to make it off that, and I just knew, you know, I wanted something different. So I just made a transition from, you know, teaching in the school system to selling cars. And, you know, you don't need a degree for cars or anything. And it's not like I thought I was above selling cars. It was just something that led me there.
Gotcha.
You know, but from there, I just kind of took it and ran with it. I got car salesman of the year every year I was there. And it was just something that kind of drew me to sales. And so from there, you know, I just kind of did a lot of things, different things in sales. You know, I've sold the cars, I've sold cell phones, I've sold swimming pools. And, you know, prior to getting into, you know, this real estate, I was doing insurance, life insurance.
Okay.
And the thing about life insurance, a lot of people may or may not know is, you know, they give you what they call advances. And so if you sell a person a policy, say for $100 a month, let's say their monthly payment is $100. The insurance company may advance you 9 months.
Okay.
They may, 9 times 100, they may give you $900. Even though that person only paid $100 initially. Well, 2 or 3 months into it, let's say that person decides not to keep the insurance. Now the insurance company wants their money back.
Wow, so you have to pay them back?
You have to pay them back, what you call a charge back. And the bad thing about that is, you know, you find yourself constantly trying to catch up because let's say you may have a decent month, you might make $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 growth, but then you might have $4,000 or $5,000 in chargebacks. And so you're always trying to play catch up, and that's what was happening to me prior to real estate. I was hurting, man. I was hurting financially real bad because I was just like on a treadmill.
Right.
I kept sliding off. At least on the treadmill, you keep moving.
Right.
But my feet was running, my feet was moving, but I kept sliding off.
The treadmill was going a little faster than you were.
Yeah. It was probably going like a 15, and I was going like a 2 or 3.
Right.
So obviously it was hard to keep up. But from there, man, we was hurting, man, and in the red. Cash wasn't flowing, so it wasn't no cash flow.
Yeah.
And I just knew it was something. I just needed something different.
Right.
Yeah, and so I just started searching, like a lot of people do. I got online and started looking. And for somehow, I mean, your name came up, Chris Bruce. So I put Chris Bruce in Google, and I started looking at some of your videos, and you just kind of came off as a real genuine person. Very, very motivational. Seemed like you knew what you was talking about, and so that kind of drew me to you. And then I signed up, I opted into your mailing list. I started getting some emails and stuff from you, and from there, I signed up for your
mastermind course
group. Yeah. Just started seeing some of the interaction there, and I said, okay. And so I reached out to you personally.
Yeah, I remember that when we had that conversation.
Yeah.
But prior to the conversation that we had, which we'll talk about in just a minute, you felt that you were good at sales. Obviously, you could sell, water to a well. But you found in real estate. What was the thing that kind of like? What was your why? Like, what was the reason? Or you was like, I'm going to try this. I want to change my life. What was kind of like the driving force? Because most people have something that pushes them that they want more,
To be honest, Chris, man, it was just, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I know people say that, but as I said before with the insurance, I wasn't going anywhere fast. I take 2 or 3 steps forward, but then it seemed like I'm taking 10 steps back, especially with the chargebacks. And then, of course, you had expenses and stuff. And so, we were just struggling, man. We were struggling financially. Like I said, it was no cash flow. It was, my wife, she's a teacher, so a lot of times we find ourselves having to depend on her income a lot. And, I may make a sale here or there, but then having to give it back, it was just causing more and more strain on us. And I just got tired of seeing the disappointment in the face. She really wasn't saying much, but I just knew that she wasn't happy when it came to the finances.
Yeah. And they always say what? Happy wife, happy life.
Unhappy wife. At the same time, me being a man, I just felt like I had to step up to the challenge.
Right.
And it was my responsibility to make sure I carried my load. And I've always had a desire to want to be the man of the house and be the one that could, be the breadwinner. And anything that my wife makes is just extra income.
Gotcha.
It wasn't like that initially, but as I got more into the real estate and started learning, I realized that there's a whole new world out here.
Yeah.
And real estate has opened up some doors for us.
Yeah, I remember, man, when you reached out to me on Facebook and we had that conversation, and you would get ready to invest in the REI Wealth Academy 2.0 course, and you just had some general questions for me. And I knew you was an action taker because I remember like it was yesterday when you got that first check and you made your investment back times, 2 or 3 of what you invested. You made $5,000. And so what was your mindset and what was your mind? Like, what were you feeling and thinking that when you got that first $5,000 check, man?
That was the proof, because a lot of times you can see different things. You can hear people say, you hear testimonials and all that. But once you experience for yourself, that's when it really becomes a reality. Yeah. I knew I could do it. Just like I felt like I could do the insurance. I felt like I could do the car sales and everything. So I knew within myself that I had a drive and motivation to do it. But I still had to put some action to it. And so, once I got your course, I dug in. I applied it and I took action. Didn't know what I was doing. But from my past history with the no's and stuff from the insurance and other industries, I wasn't opposed or scared of the no's. I just knew I had to put the time in, go out there and grind,
Right.
you know, to provide for my family. And as a result, I was able to accomplish some tremendous things,
Yeah.
you know, in a short period of time.
Yeah, I knew something that was special about you because I remember, you know, even starting after, a lot of people, what happens sometimes is that, you know, they'll make money and they'll lose that momentum.
Mm-hmm.
But you had this momentum, like, it was like witnessing Michael Jordan in the 6 championships that you acquired. Like, you were making so much money and it was happening so fast. I mean, I can only imagine, you know, the smile on your wife's face, the smile on your kid's face, how you know, it's like, wow, you know, my dad's extremely successful.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about some of those experiences, man.
At the time when I first got that check, it was a deal where I met the buyer at the REI, like a real estate investment association. And, you know, I locked the property up, talked with him. You know, we met at the property. He said he made me an offer on the spot. I initially had a $10,000 spread. He said, what would I take for it, you know, today? And so I said, give me $5,000, you know, and it's yours. And so I followed him to his house. Him and his wife, they wrote me a check. And when my wife got home that day, I showed her the check. And the first thing she was like, we're rich. We got celebrated and we enjoyed that moment. But that was like a moment where, I mean, it could have been $5.
Right.
You know, it was just the main thing. The whole idea was that I took a concept, I applied it, and it worked.
Right.
And so from there, the great thing about it was I was able to take that money, you know, apply it to more marketing, and the very next month, I doubled it, made $9,500.
Wow.
So in the course of 2 months, you know, made almost $15,000. And the point I'm making is, you know, it was just all about taking something and applying it.
Right.
Taking an idea, a concept, and applying it, and just not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, you have to work through the no's and stuff. But my driving force, my why was I was just tired of struggling.
Right.
You know, and the struggle is real. You know, and I would just say this time, you know, last year, thank God was coming out of it, but I'm just saying it was to the point where when you got the pressures of debts and the bill collectors and stuff on your back, it's kind of like everywhere you turn, you know, somebody, you know, wasn't money, do this,
Exactly.
something, or just not enough.
Yeah.
And you know, we really knew we were struggling when we had to take the credit card that we had and pay for essential things like gas and groceries.
Right.
You know, and so whenever you have to take a thing like a credit card and pay for your essential livings, you know, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but at the same time, you know, I knew I had to take a chance because, you know, nothing great happens if you just play safe.
That's true. Very true.
You got to swing for the fences, and I would just say that, you know, I swung this time and I connected.
Yeah.
And just been going hard at it ever since.
Right. I mean, and that's the one thing I like about real estate investing is that it really provides that financial freedom and that security. A lot of people want security, but you're not really so secure in your job, especially like you said, selling insurance. It's not so secure if you got to go take the money back, you know. But
oh yeah, and you know, we working up under their name and stuff, and it's their rules, and of course, you know, it's just a lot of things where they present it like you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Right. You know, but at the same time, you're just another employee.
It's like an independent contractor for them almost.
Correct. Yeah. And I wasn't happy. Yeah. You know, I didn't enjoy what I do. Whereas now with the real estate, you know, I can do that all day, every day, and it doesn't feel like work. Right. Because I enjoy it. Right. I enjoy just the opportunity to go out and just help someone else. Because I know that if I help enough people, by default, I'm gonna be helped. I'm gonna be blessed. Exactly. That's what's happened to us now.
Yeah. So, I mean, for those of the people that are listening, you know, what is your advice, and would you recommend them getting started with the REI Wealth Academy 2.0 course?
Oh man, you have my 1,000% endorsement, Chris, because as I said before, you're a genuine person, you're a real person. We sitting here talking today, and you know that's what drew me to you, was I could just feel you being genuine and passionate about what you were doing. And you don't hold anything back either. That's another thing I like.
All right, so I hope you were able to really enjoy and get inspired by the interview, like I did listening to it. All right, Ray has a phenomenal story, you know, of how he went from, you know, being at the bottom, you know, being at the lowest part of his life, and really changing things all around, you know, applying this REI Wealth Profit Academy formula, okay, and the things that it's done for him, his family, which he could never even imagine, okay. And this is what you need. All right, this is what you need. Maybe you're watching this video and you've attended a seminar, maybe you've been on a webinar or two, and you were sold with overhyped stuff of different things, and you were left stuck. You were left still of the uncertainty of what action steps you need to be taken in order to really build a business. All right, and that's what the REI Wealth Profit Academy formula is about. Okay, the whole goal is to eventually have a business where you can create income on demand. All right, and following this formula with the power of the internet, you can really use this formula to create income from anywhere, and it works in any market. Doesn't matter what area you're in. It works in any type of up or down market as well. Okay, this is the same formula that I use after the market crash to still create income. And so it's really a bulletproof for recessions or whatever up or down market for you to create income on demand. And that's why I love it. All right, and that's why I'm here sharing it with you. So I really hope you got a lot of detailed content and information from these past 3 videos. And I can tell you that we're actually getting ready to open up our coaching program. All right, we're going to be opening up our coaching program, which will be coming out in a couple of days. So stay tuned to getting that email. All right, because we're going to give you all the details, and I'm going to give you another video exactly what all that's going to detail. It's going to be an extensive coaching program, and it's kind of like school. All right, basically, we'll go ahead and we'll send you the details for you to go ahead and register, and registration will be open for a couple of days, and then after that, once we fill up, we're going to go ahead and close it. All right, we'll go through the whole program, and then you have to wait to get back in once we reopen again. Okay, and so I will be sending you details about that. I can tell you that it's a phenomenal class. We've seen a lot of results from students all across the country that have gone through this program. And I would say that this is something that could really, really set 2015 on fire for you in years to come. All right. So what I want you to do now is go ahead and in the comments below, give us some feedback of what you thought about this inspiring interview, what you thought about this whole video series. Leave us a comment, and also give us a like. We love likes. All right. Go ahead and like. There's a button below, but make sure you leave that comment. All right. Talk about how you're going to use this formula in your business. All right. And I look forward for you, hopefully, to be joining us in that coaching program.